Hello, and welcome to the Oregon Files podcast. First, before we get into today's episode, we want to hit you with some facts about the topic we're covering today, which is Camp Millennium here in Douglas County. Camp Millennium is a week filled with fun for kids who spend too much time in hospitals and clinics because of cancer. It's a time to be themselves and to share in a variety of summer camp activities such as hiking, fishing, archery, swimming, arts and crafts, horseback riding, and many other surprises. The goal of the week-long adventure is to provide these children with a camping experience, which can be extended into their everyday lives. Who attends? Camp Millennium is for children from 5 to 16 years of age who are dealing with a cancer diagnosis. Children from the Pacific Northwest apply each year through physicians, self-referral, and support groups. The parents then complete and submit the applications to the camp office for approval. Campers are accepted on a first-come, first-served basis, although spaces are held for newly diagnosed children. Staffing: Camp Millennium is a member of the Children's Oncology Camping Association and is overseen and directed by a board of directors. The board and subcommittees meet several times a month throughout the year to plan, organize, and implement the program. Individuals, including a full-time medical staff, support staff, and camp counselors, volunteer their time each year at Camp Millennium. Camp counselors are ready to show these children a great time, as well as provide friendship and love. Counselors are mature individuals with a special zest for life. Our volunteers come from all over Oregon and many other states across the country. Staff must be at least 19 years old and pass state and federal background checks. The cost? Camp Millennium is free for all campers. Families are never charged or solicited. Camp Millennium's cost per camper is approximately $1,500. Funding: Camp Millennium is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. They are funded by donations from individuals, businesses, and organizations. Cash donations and camp supplies are welcome. A donation of $10,000 sponsors an entire cabin, which houses 10 guests, or a $1,500 donation will allow one child to attend camp. Donations of any amount are greatly appreciated. All donations are restricted to the support of the Camp Millennium program. Checks and money orders can be made payable to Camp Millennium, 2880 Northwest Stewart Parkway, Suite 200, Roseburg, Oregon, 97471. Credit card donations can be through PayPal at www.campmillennium.org. For more information regarding Camp Millennium or how you can help, contact the office in Roseburg at 541-677-0600. Once again, the number is 541-677-0600. Their mission statement is to create a fun, safe, non-judgmental environment in which children dealing with a cancer diagnosis has the opportunity to regain some of their lost childhood. They also strive to give children with cancer hope by offering opportunities for social interaction with other children dealing with like issues, thus creating a place in which children feel safe and secure in sharing their feelings and fears. To drive this issue home, I want to cover some of the facts about childhood cancer. 1 in 285 children will be diagnosed with cancer each year. More than 40,000 children undergo cancer treatment each year. The average age at diagnosis is 6 years old. Childhood cancer is not one disease. There are 16 major types of pediatric cancers and over 100 subtypes. The cause of most childhood cancers is unknown. 43 children per day, or 15,780 children per year, are expected to be diagnosed with cancer in the United States. 700 children per day worldwide will be diagnosed with cancer. More than 95% of childhood cancer survivors will have a significant health-related issue by the time they are 45 years of age. These health-related issues are side effects of either the cancer or, more commonly, the result of the treatment. Cancer is the number one cause of death by disease among children. Since 1980, fewer than 10 drugs have been developed for use in children with cancer. There are only 3 drugs that have been approved for use in children. The average cost of a stay in a hospital for a child with cancer is $40,000. And only 4% of federal government cancer research funding goes to studying pediatric cancer. Thank you and enjoy this podcast. Today is a special episode because we are recording from the Camp Millennium offices in Roseburg, Oregon, and we have a special guest today. But first, my co-host, Elliot Bowman.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, today is a very special episode, and we're super excited. It's also our 22nd episode, and We are super honored and excited, like I said, to be joined by someone in our community who's been doing incredible work with kids and their families that essentially go through a hard time. But without spoiling too much, we'd like to welcome Mindy Bean, the director of Camp Millennium. Welcome, Mindy.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, Mindy, like I was saying, thank you so much for being here with us. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started with Camp Millennium?
Sure. So it all started as a business connection to camp. Worked for McDonald's, and the majority of the time it was over at Stewart Parkway. Once that got opened up back in the late 90s, in between. But every Tuesday of camp week, they'd come in and do a town day, and we would feed them for free. And I just got connected to them just through that, and then I decided to be part of it from then.
What was your family's reaction when you went home?
They weren't surprised at all.
Oh,
no, they were not surprised at all. It's crazy. The employees who worked during those years would still tell you that's probably the best day ever to work. People from all the restaurants would say, I'll work that day, I'll work that day. So you get 100 kids plus about 75 staff members come in, and they all have camp names. Right. So you're literally yelling out, yo mama, your order's ready. And up walks this 84-year-old woman who's volunteering at camp, and her camp name is Yo Mama. So it's just it was wonderful, and I needed to be part of it.
Right. How long were they coming in before you kind of decided that you wanted to be part of Camp Millennium?
Well, from the get-go, we were always connected, 1992, and I always wanted to do something with them, but I had small kids and working full-time, both parents working full-time, and small kids and sports and programs and all this other stuff. I wanted to make sure that I would be able to give it my complete type A 100% to it. So I waited besides doing the business part of it, until my kids graduated high school. And then as soon as they graduated high school, I was right there with it, into the meetings, got onto the board, became board president. And then in 2019, I was gosh, I really feel like I should do something more, but I'm not retirement age, but I really feel like I should do something more. So I went part-time at McDonald's. The owner-operator, Patty Sanders, who had bought from the Eads organization, who had been McDonald's forever.
Right. Donna and Gary Eads,
yes. She and I sat down, and we created a position for me that allowed me to work part-time there and part-time for camp. And so I did that until this year in May, where I decided to retire full-time from McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
And went
just
right to camp.
May?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
May 16th was my official first day of just camp.
Oh, wow.
And no more McDonald's. Except for lunch and breakfast with the grandkids.
I love it. So how long were you in the restaurant or the food industry?
33 years.
33 years.
Yeah.
And
started in 1988.
And are you from this area?
No, actually from North Carolina.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
What part of North Carolina?
It's called the county, but it's
the county.
Yeah, but it's Alliance, North Carolina, population 250, possibly. It's small.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were in the restaurant industry back there too, or?
No, my parents had a restaurant. I worked in restaurants, not just with my parents and stuff like that, but when I moved over here, I was like, I need a part-time job because, just get out of the house of little small kids and stuff like that. Walked in at McDonald's on Garden Valley when it was the only one. Yeah. And interviewed with Rod Cotton, and he and I worked together for many years.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you like barbecue? North Carolina is known for their barbecue. Or
yeah. I like it when it's not so much vinegar.
Yeah.
Because it's a vinegar-based barbecue in North Carolina.
Right.
I'm more on the east coast of North Carolina, right by the water. So we did the fresh seafood right off the boat. Boom. And of course barbecue.
Right.
But yeah.
And I'm sorry, how long have you been in this area?
Moved here in 1988.
1988.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's very cool. One question, how did Camp Millennium get the name Camp Millennium?
Oh, that's a very good question because a lot of people don't know. Okay, so back in the day, 1992 is when the camp first originated, and it was called Camp You Can Do. Yes, it was connected to the American Cancer Society. And so Camp You Can Do is actually still up in Portland.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Right. So unfortunately, due to funding and different things, the American Cancer Society decided to pull some funds out in 1999, and Camp You Can Do down in this area was one of the camps that they closed. So they closed everything, took everything, and just went up to the north side, and there was 12 individuals in the area that decided to keep this camp going, that it was too much. Southern Oregon, there's only 2 camps in the state of Oregon for kids that deal with a cancer diagnosis. So these 12 individuals decided that, you know what, we're going to do whatever we can, started from zero. So 2000, it was the Millennium. So there's Camp Millennium.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the Camp You Can Do was kind of like a similar
Yes.
type of camp?
Actually, I saw a video probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and it's pretty much kind of like the same camp, except their colors are red and our colors are blue.
Okay.
I mean, we're doing like the same things. I was like, that's so funny. That's so great.
Got it.
It's just kids being kids.
Right. Right. So I don't know how to phrase this, but how do kids get into the camp, or how do parents just like reach out to Camp Millennium? Like they've already kind of just like word of mouth, or?
It's word of mouth. It's really hard down here because in Southern Oregon, well, actually everywhere except for the Portland area, if your child is diagnosed with cancer, you automatically go up north. So they're diagnosed up north. That's where they go. We don't have a pediatric oncologist down here. So that's one of my main focus now that I'm full-time at camp, is getting more word out there, because we do have kids that are battling cancer here in the Roseburg area, Douglas County area, just all around, unfortunately. And I needing to make sure that they know that there's, this out there for them.
Right. That's true. So as far as other activities besides like the camp week, what other kind of things does Camp Millennium do?
Oh, I'm so excited you asked that, because remember where I said my type A personality and my business sense of being in the McDonald's for all those years and stuff like that? One of the things that I am bringing is that you have to grow. And we can't just do this 1 week thing in June. We have to do more. Right. So in 2019, when I went part-time, I was like, we have got to grow. This is what we need to do and everything else. And then COVID hit. So I was like, oh, great. I'm like not doing anything right now because of COVID. Right. But now that it's, back to pretty much
normal-ish.
Yeah. I hate to even say that word because, oh my goodness. But, we are doing our first Moms Weekend in October.
Okay.
14th through the 16th, because moms, I know you two are not moms, but moms give up everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to go get their hair done. They're not going to go get their nails done. They're not going to go buy a new pair of shoes if they need to. They're not going to do any of that. So we're going to have a weekend where some vendors, some nail techs, some massage therapists, different businesses coming out to the camp where the kids go.
Oh my gosh.
The moms are going to go, and we're just going to spend a weekend and just, for lack of better words, just love on them. Just give them all kinds of things, and somebody doing their hair if they need, color cut, any of that stuff. So it's going to be fun.
All right. I love that. That's
very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As far as like the campers go, what's usually like activities during the week that the campers?
So full. So let's just talk about this camp this year.
Sure.
So Monday, we always have art, all different kinds of art. You can see, I know you guys, this is a podcast, so you can't see. They got to make their own ukuleles.
I would love to make my own ukulele.
Frames, they do all different kinds of things. They get to swim, horseback riding, zip lining. My goodness.
Yeah.
All different kinds of things. Swimming. And Tuesday, of course, is the town day.
Yes.
And they go to the movie theater. and can watch a movie and get all the popcorn and the candy they want and drinks they want, of course. And then we went out to Wildlife Safari, and we had a food truck. Granny's Mini Hut food truck came out.
So good.
Fed us burgers and fries. I know. There's no reason why it says the best burgers, world's best burgers, Douglas County. And then we had Dan Van Slyke is such a phenomenal business sponsor for camp. I mean, he just loves this organization and our campers so much. So they got to ride the camels, the trains, go to animal encounters. And then they go home back to camp. And then Wednesday, they're doing survival, Dutch oven cooking, all different kinds of stuff. And then Thursday, we went back to the bowling alley. They actually opened it up for us for a private party.
Oh, wow.
So the kids got to bowl, got pizza, got sodas, of course, played the games, did all that. And yeah, it's just fun. And then on Friday, we do a special dance for them.
Okay.
We decorate, and this year was Decades of Disney.
Oh,
so there was all Disney characters. People dress up in the Disney characters. We had Party Time and Fun Cuisine come in, and they had a photo booth. They did the food. We had characters there, different princesses and different, even Spider-Man and Batman showed up. And DJ, and they just danced the night away. And then Saturday is pretty much like an aqua day. The Kellogg Fire Department comes out with their water truck, hoses the kids down. They play with water balloons, dunk tank, everything else. They have fun. Yeah, it's really fun.
We need an Aquaman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sunday they get to go home. And they're exhausted.
That sounds
and they're
like
fun.
a lot
and they
of fun.
just get to have a lot of fun. I could tell this year they really needed to get back to in person.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Socializing.
For sure. Oh, yes. Yes. Their parents were like, yes, they need to go to camp.
Yeah.
We're fine. We understand that COVID's out there, but they're going to camp.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Action-packed.
Yep.
That's awesome. What kind of... like the sponsors in the area?
Yeah.
How do sponsors get a hold of Camp Millennium? And then maybe we talk a little bit what sponsors that are helped this last year in the camp.
So they can reach out to on the website, which is www.campmillennium.org. They can call the office, which is 541-677-0600. They can call my cell phone, 541-643-1117. Really don't mind anybody knowing that because everybody in town knows it already through McDonald's. So, and they can just reach out that way. I do probably quarterly mailings out and stuff to local businesses and stuff like that. Good. But we also we do grants through the foundations, like a Cow Creek Foundation. They're just phenomenal. Ford Family Foundation's phenomenal for us. Coquille. The Indian tribes really help out, not only with our camp, but with this community. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what they do for the community.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when the kids first arrive, are they always like apprehensive, or do they I assume they come like on a bus, or do their parents drive them? The parents drive them.
Yeah, their parents drive them. So we have kids that actually throughout the state of Oregon, which means they can even come through from Eastern Oregon, which is quite the trip.
Yeah.
But we also open it up for like the Vancouver area, because realistically, Vancouver and Washington, you take a wrong turn off a bridge and you're in Vancouver.
Right.
I've done that, so I know that.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what the majority of is Douglas County area in Southern Oregon. But I'm literally, if somebody from Tennessee wanted to come to camp, I will not say no.
Right.
And my board of directors know that.
Right.
They're going to say yes.
Right.
So they come.
That's amazing. So all the kids from I assumed that it was kids from California and Washington. Mm-hmm. So it's literally this area that all those kids are from.
So Camp You Can Do up in Portland runs their camp the same week that we do.
Oh, wow.
And they're completely full, and I'm completely full, which means that there's a need out there.
Wow.
So both of us did lower levels this year than normal. Usually I do about 110 kids plus, staff, because it could go up to almost 200 plus people, counting the whole camp. And they do the same numbers and stuff. Right. And the biggest thing that holds us back from doing multiple camps is the cost of renting a camp. Because we don't have our own camp. Same thing for Camp You Can Do. They rent a camp facility too.
Oh, really?
So that's a big cost. Yeah. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, yeah, because I know we are. Right. I've promised those kids we will.
Right. So Camp Millennium's at the same place every year?
Yeah, Camp Kellogg. Out 138, going towards Elkton. Right. Right after you get to milepost 9. It's in that little Kellogg area.
Okay. I don't think I've ever...
when you go by, there's this boat dock. I don't know what it's called. There's a little boating dock thing, but it's supposed to be good fishing right there. That's what everybody says. And then you go past that. It's past the fire station, and it's right after milepost 9. If you look on the right-hand side, it says Camp Kellogg, and it's up in the hills.
Got it. I always just think of the pumpkin patch.
Oh, yeah.
I think Camp Millennium, I think the pumpkin patch. Yeah. But, man, I don't know if I have the words to put in just how incredible...
Yeah, it's crazy. I try to tell people, I'm like, I can tell you about it, but I can't tell you about it because you have to experience it. Right. But I can guarantee you, like the local people who come and volunteer, once they go to camp, will always go to camp. Unless something, they cannot make it. They will make sure that they go to camp. People still come from all different around the United States to come and volunteer for that week. It's amazing. It's hard to even explain it.
How many parents usually reach out, or how many kids? Because if your max, you said, is like 110.
It's not max.
Oh, got it.
It's just an average.
An average. Oh,
yeah. If I make the staff could sleep in tents, and we could give up cabin beds.
Yeah. Got it. So you have there's no max to how many kids.
No, don't tell that to my medical or to my board. I will never say no. They know that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So do you have any stories or people that stick out in your mind from the last how many years you've been doing this?
I do. So you remember I told you that I got onto the board, and I never went to camp week just because kids were in sports. My daughter was a basketball player, traveling, doing all that other stuff and everything. So never went to camp, never was able to. But when I finally went to camp, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm older. I'm not the young college type that volunteers as counselors, but put me in, I'll do something. So I said, put me in with the little kids because I'm a grandma. I can handle little kids. So they put me in with the adult girls. I was like, oh, great, thanks. Those are the kids I work with all the time, right? Yeah. I was like, I wanted the little kids. But everything works out for a reason, because I was put in the older girls, where they're 14 through 16, and I met a camper named Dream, and that's her camp name. But she was from local here. Her name was Jasmine Zeller, and she had cancer since 2 years old. Oh, wow. And she had 6 different cancers. I actually have a tattoo on my arm for her. She passed away at 18. But I hung out with her because I was like, she had just had a surgery kind of within the month of that camp. And I was like, oh, she's not going to be able to do a lot of stuff, because I didn't want to do no big swing. I didn't want to do no zip line. I was like, I'll just hang out with the kids and just be fine. Oh, no, she was doing everything. So she was doing it. I was doing it. And she and I just had a connection. And I knew then that I went home and I told my husband, I was like, listen, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to make sure that this camp is successful through years to come. And little did he know how it was going to turn out this way.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that probably goes without saying. That's probably the hardest part of being there at Camp Millennium, right?
Yeah, it is. Because some kids heal and go on, and some kids don't. And that's unfortunately the crappy thing about cancer.
Yeah. Well, we're going to put one swear word. F cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't edit that, Mark. Just, man. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I don't know. Yeah.
So that's why we do the dance on Friday.
Okay.
I was wondering about that when I first came on. I stayed the week and I learned about this dance, and it's a big thing. It's a huge thing, this dance. And it's because there's going to be some kids that'll never go to a high school dance or a high school prom. So, by gosh, they're going to go to a dance and they're going to go and have fun and just do things that the normal teenager thinks is no big deal,
Right.
What's the reason behind the nicknames? Is that just a camp thing? Is that a Camp Millennium exclusively thing? Or
I don't think it's a Camp Millennium exclusively thing. I think some other camps do it. We're connected to an association called COCA. It's Children's Oncology Camp and Children's Camp. And some do and some don't. It's just a way of... I think when the HIPAA first came out, they were very strict onto that aspect.
Okay.
Now, it's a little bit not as some, but I think now it's just like everybody's like tries to guess people's name kind of thing, but we won't let people know the names and stuff. So
what's your nickname and how'd you get it?
My nickname is Jelly Bean. My last name is Bean, and I knew if I was like on the spot. They're like, okay, what's your nickname going to be? What's your camp name? I was like, ooh, I don't know. So I said Jelly Bean. And that ended up pretty good because there was a camper whose name was Peanut Butter. And so we were like Peanut Butter and Jelly Bean.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they were always like talking
Goes
like
together.
That. Yeah. But little did I know that new camp staff end up having to do things associated with their camp name.
Oh, really?
On stage, and I did Jelly Bean. I was like, if I'd known that, I would have done like just Bean, only 4 letters, not all that one.
Wait, what'd you have to do for Jelly Bean?
I can't say because somebody might hear this and decide they want to go to camp.
I love it.
But yeah. So, like, if you don't decide what your camp name's going to be, they'll give you a camp name, and I guarantee you it's not going to be 4 letters.
How long do they wait for you to pick it?
Oh, you got to pick it fast. By the time, so on Sunday, everybody goes and makes a name tag. So it's a badge, and by the time you better have it before everybody's done with their name badges. So, yeah, this was mine. Right here.
I love it.
Yep. So, yeah.
I love it. Do you have other volunteers that have been there or staff members that have been there for quite a while?
Yeah. So remember I told you about the 12?
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 of them that are still volunteering. They're in their 80s now. They didn't go to camp this year. She, crazy, has now got cancer. So she's battling that.
Oh my gosh.
So they came up and did like a day volunteer kind of thing just because they're still connected with camp. But yeah, they still are there, and their camp names are Gopher and Sunflower.
Okay.
And they're a vital part of this camp organization.
Well, and do you mind telling us her name?
Their real name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Phil and Luann Cooper. Huge.
I'll be thinking about Luann.
Yes.
Man.
She would appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite activity that
do I have a favorite activity
at the camp?
At the camp that you do with the kids, or that you look forward to every year, or you just kind of go?
It's go. I love the campfires, and I love the singing, and I love just watching the kids just be together and everything else.
Yeah. So you have moments where you can just like sit back and reflect and watch and just kind of like take it all in on how kind of in the moments of everything. Yeah. And lots of pictures. And
yes. Oh my gosh. So normally we have a photographer come in and take pictures, but this year, because of COVID and keeping the numbers down because of medical, I was trying to get more campers and less staff, but still have the ratio. So, and Camp Kellogg just got fiber optic Wi-Fi. So in my head, I know, right? So in my head, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Let's everybody have their cell phones and take pictures. within reason, you know,
Right.
they still have to be
Right.
with kids and not
Yeah.
get on
Right.
Facebook and stuff like that. We must have over 5,000 photos from this year,
I love it.
which is phenomenal because I'm going to update all our marketing. I'm going to put together a lot of different things and all that.
Awesome.
So, yeah, with
That's
all
cool.
some of this new print.
That's
It's
cool.
going to be wonderful.
How soon? So when camp is? Forgive me for
Is
the dates.
Yeah, it usually starts on Father's Day weekend.
Okay.
That's Sunday, which everybody's like, why is that? Well, the first reason was that was the only weekend the week that we could do when we went to this camp. And the other, if we push it back, we're into 4th of July weekend,
Oh,
which,
Yeah.
you know, most families
Camping
are
and-
doing
yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
on that aspect anyway. So we
Yeah.
try to have it on that. It seems to work, but everybody's just like, why? But it does seem to work.
Yeah. How soon do people usually kind of get a hold of you, or, you know, ahead of time, or how soon do they need to get a hold of the camp?
I usually open up registration by February.
Okay.
Got it.
You mentioned a couple names and places already. What other places contribute or are really good partners with Camp Millennium? Anyone you want to shout out?
Well, the movie theater for sure.
Yeah.
The bowling alley, Ted Downs, phenomenal. Wildlife Safari, Seven Feathers Casino, the Indian tribals, all of them, but totally all of them. This facility here at Community Cancer Center, the doctors upstairs, they're great. Oh my gosh, there's so many. The local businesses, a lot of the trucking and, you know, industry gives to us. I could go on and on and on.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was
and
looking on your
and
page
on.
on how many the sponsors you have. It's pretty incredible.
Yes, and that's not even updated onto
Yeah.
the thing because we had just started and moved some programs around and everything else. It's phenomenal.
You have like different level of sponsors, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it cost, for so many years, we did $1,000 because it was a nice even number. But it pretty much is, I went back and checked on it. It's like $1,500 to send a kid to camp because we do not charge anything. Absolutely nothing.
Amazing.
Not even for the volunteers. It is totally free. So that includes the camp facility, the food, medical. They bring their medicines, but if something, if they need over-the-counter medicine, we have that because it's been donated to us through Mercy and Parkway Medical Supply and everything.
Right.
The Hometown Drugs in Sutherland is very helpful. Like if somebody needs a prescription because something happens, we can call them and we can go back down there and pick it up. Yeah, so I don't even know.
It's
Yeah.
just
I love it.
just great support from the community. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. So when you're not doing Camp Millennium, what is Mindy doing?
My husband would say Camp Millennium. I would say pretty much Camp Millennium too.
Yeah.
I am a grandmother and of course a mom and a wife, so I like doing all that. Yeah, now it's pretty much camp. Love that. And I like to help with the community. I just got reconnected with the Ronald Children's Charities, the Hartfield House up in Springfield.
Okay.
Because some of our kids actually stay there when they, different things. Maybe not the one in Springfield, but the one up in Portland. So I wanted to I want to give back too, as not just myself, but as for Camp Millennium too. So that's nice. I think nonprofits should gather around each other and help each other. So yeah, I just want to give back.
Yeah. So if there was one message or messages that you would want people to know about Camp Millennium, what would that kind of be?
One thing that is different about Camp Millennium from Camp You Can Do is Camp Millennium has I call them cancer warriors. I don't like the word cancer patient because they battle. They're warriors. So the cancer warrior can bring their siblings.
Okay.
And there's not a max
awesome.
off. If there's 6 siblings, those 6 siblings can come as long as they're 5
that's so
through
cool.
16.
Yeah.
Because, we're the Camp Millennium is for the cancer warriors, but cancer affects the whole family. And there's so many studies out there that the siblings are just they need to go. They need to be part of it. There's camps out there that have just for siblings, but I think our camp dynamic and the way that we have it set up, you can tell, like, there's some sets where it is like, you know who they are. You don't even need to know that they're brothers and sisters, but you know they're brothers and sisters. You can just tell. And then there's some you have no idea because they're there and they're like, little Johnny, go play, go away.
Right.
But that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So the minimum age
is 5.
Got it.
Is 5, and then we go through 16, and then kids can come back from at 17 to 18, and they're like leaders in training, which would be like, I'm a big thing. That's, like I said, just I pull from, you know, my business side of it through McDonald's. We have to like get our youth involved because they're going to be adults pretty soon. So they learn how to be counselors by following with the counselors, and they learn different things throughout the week. They still have fun, but it's at a different type of thing.
Does that happen pretty often where they then become counselors and come back?
2019, we had 22 new staff members that were campers that went through the program.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's really good for multiple reasons. That means that they were still surviving too. So yeah.
Mark and I see, like, how many years have you doing
3 years?
3 years. Okay, I've done it too. Yeah, we see like a glimpse of what you guys do, and the first time I met you, I couldn't even believe that you were this person. I mean, you were absolutely incredible, Mindy.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely incredible, and
all the kids love you. It's yeah.
It is.
It's really
incredible.
I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it.
Yeah, I hope people take away from this on how much really goes into it, and you know how much it means to you and the community and stuff, because it really is freaking incredible.
It's very important.
Yeah.
But really, we have 2 more questions for.
Yes, we do.
Mindy.
Really
2
important
our
questions.
go-through questions that we usually do.
Gosh.
First one is, what's your favorite movie?
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. It's Jaws.
Hey,
no,
that's a great movie.
I'm actually on my TV right now with sharks.
The Shark Week.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm petrified of the water.
Oh, really?
I won't even go into the river water over here. Because,
really?
Yeah, because remember, I'm from North Carolina, where
swimming
there are
in the
actually
ocean.
Bull sharks go up through the rivers.
Yeah.
You don't get into water over there. So, it's
love
like,
it.
Yeah, Jaws.
It's a good movie.
It's a good one, yeah. It's a classic.
I just watched it the other day because it was on because of Shark Week coming up.
All right. And then, of course, one of our other very important questions that we ask everyone is, Mindy, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, my favorite sandwich right now during the summer months, spring and summer months, is tomato with mayonnaise, pepper, white bread. And then any other time is turkey, cheddar, on sourdough with lettuce and tomato.
Oh man, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
That's a sneaky good sandwich. I love how you have seasonal sandwiches.
Yes, it's seasonal sandwiches.
You
I'm
fit,
down with this.
You fit right in perfect with us because
Yeah.
we talk about seasonal beverages and seasonal beer and food. That's awesome. I think that's all the time we will take out of your evening.
Sure. No?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
super
so
excited
much.
that you guys asked to do this.
Yeah. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it. Thank you. And we'll see you next episode.
Yeah. And if you want to get a hold of the show, email OregonFilesPodcast@yahoo.com. Check us out on everywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Alexa, Amazon.
YouTube.
Mark posted on YouTube,
Free to
Instagram. Check Instagram, Oregon Files Podcast. Just Google us. We'll come up and enjoy.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.